are you? Who? Tell me, who are you? Guess what we're going to talk about today? We're going to talk about you or me. And who'd know better to talk about you than me or him? I'm going to go get Mr. Steve out of the green room, and we're going to talk about discovering yourself, because this is something that is helpful once you as far as the magic world and performing. A lot of people will replicate another magician or another persona. And then when they get older, they realize that's not me. And they change and they get into their real selves. And that's when they become successful. So let's go find it and get some from this old Yoda-like person. Where is he? Yoda.
Morning.
Oh, Swami. You're going to teach us a little bit about finding ourselves, right?
I prefer to call it self-discovery, Brad.
Yeah, because
finding yourself is something I did when I was a young teenager.
Okay. I was thinking that too, but
I had to say that.
I didn't have the balls to say it.
Yeah, self-discovery.
Yeah,
it is something that we're not challenged to do in our society, and I mean, we're basically challenged to conform, to be like everybody else, and so
I think where it's challenged is we're constantly growing and adding things on when we should be taking things off, and kind of find our childhood before we got screwed up into precognitive beliefs.
Well, it depends on what your source is of all that stuff you're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, as I do my self-discovery, I discover more and more about myself. So it does expand, but I'm less and less in what the world is trying to tell me I am. Mm-hmm. And as you alluded at the beginning of the show about magic, when I first started off in magic, I had my idols that I was trying to emulate. And over a period of time, I realized, hey, that's not me. That's not the type of magic I want to do, And when I changed and shifted, my career took off,
Yeah, I remember I tried to brand myself as Bradley Arthur GUDIM, having a long name with a scripty font and stuff, and that didn't work because I'm not sophisticated. I tried.
I called myself the Great Steve Reno.
That's more fitting. I did the magic of Brad for a long time, just the magic of Brad.
That's good. Yeah. That'll work.
But that happens. I'm turning 65. You're a little bit older than I am, so you've been on the planet a little longer. But I'm still running into things where I think I want to do this because I've been in this event industry all my life, and I keep gravitating back to it, and I can't get away from it. I think that it is part of me, but I don't think it's the kind of events that I'm familiar with doing. I think there's some other kind of event style, but I do have a desire to create this event.
Well, let me share a little insight for yourself. What I know about your personality type, and I'm not trying to type you, but what I know is your personality type is the kind that wants to plan the party, put on the party, and you're the last one to leave the party.
Kinda.
That's typical of your personality type.
I'm a connector type person too. I'm not looking to be a leader and have followers.
Right.
I know that I'm kind of more of making a platform for people to meet, connect, and do business. Or create a relationship or whatever. That's more my happy spot.
Let me say something else, because you said something before the show started. Sometimes there's a reluctance for us to do our self-discovery. And the reason why is because we're afraid that we're going to discover something about ourselves we don't like or don't want. The truth is, it's completely opposite. All self-discovery does not tell you what you have to be or what you should be, including all the different assessments that you and I have made reference to, like the Enneagram, the DISC program, Myers-Briggs, whatever. They don't tell you what you have to be. They're revealing to you like a mirror of how it is you think and function and behave. Right. So it actually frees you. You get to, once you see that, you get to choose.
Right.
You get to choose what you want to do, what you want to take out of it. It doesn't tell you what you have to be. So it's just like and when I chose my style of my work, my job. I mean, my parents told me I had to get a real job. I went to college, got a degree that had nothing to do with what I'm doing with right today. But I tried to figure out based upon what they were telling me. And it wasn't until years later I got involved in sales. I was in medical sales. And I ended up, when I got in sales, I realized, wait a second, people are buying from me because they like me, not because of the products.
Right.
And at that point, I said, wait a second, I need to look more into myself and realize what it is that I have to give. And then when I got back into performing magic, it's like this huge door opened up. The heavens opened up.
Because you're in the zone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, it took me a while. Don't get me wrong. It took me a while to figure that out.
Well, it's easy to go up the wrong exit ramp, you know?
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yeah, it's really easy to do that. And I just know that when I'm conscious of something and I have a hesitance from it, I know that I'm closer to the possibility because it doesn't feel like a fear, you know, like it's dangerous. It feels like an avoidance. And I believe that's my ego trying to protect me because I don't want to get hurt.
Right.
But it'll take me closer and make me more powerful.
You described that very well. Right.
Yeah. Because I'm aware of it. I'm very aware. I know that I've got deep rooted money issues. And I don't know if you believe in past life kind of stuff, but I think that if a soul dies and might come back, it's got an old imprint in it. But I know I've got some stuff from childhood. Well, we can't afford that. Put that back. You can't have that candy bar. So I know I've got that kind of stuff because I'm cheap.
Did you get a lot of that? I don't remember getting that myself, even though my family was not rich. Did you get a lot of that?
Everything. Like if you don't eat your Cheerios, guess what? You get them tomorrow.
Oh, really?
It's not good.
Oh, I never got that.
But yeah, and leaving the door open. What are you, born in a barn? Born in the basement, never brought up? So I remember all those things that mom.
And I'm a lot.
Yeah. Huh?
A lot of people do. What you're describing, they experience that, and it does affect it programs your thinking. Yeah.
Oh, totally. I mean, my wife wants to buy, a bouquet of flowers, and I'm thinking, $23? It'd be dead in 2 weeks. Doesn't make any sense to me. But look at the joy it brings to her. That's what's important.
You figured it out.
Yeah. So that's worth $23.
I'm the same way.
Well, I go through that all the time. It's just even small stuff. Like I think I mentioned before, I've caught myself bending a paperclip back because I use it to pick something, and then I bent it back because I wanted to save the paperclip, and it's like, let it go.
Yeah,
that's something that's been imprinted in me. That's not my real self because I do sincerely believe that it's an abundant universe. It's very.
There you go. Yeah.
So I know that inside. So this holding a paper, it'd be better off to throw the paperclip in the garbage so it got into the land and decomposed and turned into something beneficial down the road. So I'm aware of it.
Okay. There's a balance in it. We do have a responsibility to be good stewards of what we have and possess, and at the same time, there's a time to let go. So
it's just all stuff like that. Like Monica wanted to go get a dress yesterday, and we're looking at some of these dresses, and they're like $500, and I'm thinking, you realize you could buy the material for like $3, and if you have someone that can sew, they got a dress. But because it's this designer, and I understand that whole perception of the designer in business and why it's so expensive because it was designed by whoever. But
there comes an evolution of consciousness when you understand that money is it's almost make-believe in a sense. I mean, now if you don't agree with what I'm saying, then you're stuck in the mentality that you have to work so much to get so much, and but since I'm self-employed and I use the principles of this book that we talked about the other day, Think and Grow Rich.
That's a classic right there.
Since I used the principles in that changed. Everything changed. And so money shows up in the most unusual ways. But then again, see, I don't have a 9-to-5 job, and I have multiple streams of income. So the money appears, it comes and goes. But one thing I did learn is I had to let it flow.
Right.
I've tried hoarding my money. So it's the old comparison. Would you like to have $1,000 or get a penny a day and double it each day thereafter?
Right. That's millions.
And you know the answer, right? If you agree to the penny thing, it's millions.
Well, to me, money is nothing but a measurement system of work, and work is nothing but energy. So it's a matter of putting stuff out, and then somehow it's converted. What's that? You're shaking your head.
Yeah, I don't agree. Money's not the measurement. It is on a certain degree. I mean,
maybe we just don't have the same definition.
Go ahead, say it again.
Because like a dollar bill, the United States dollar bill, that's a unit.
Yes,
and
that's true.
They used to have it matched up with the gold standard so that it had something tied to it.
Yeah, right.
But it's just a unit. So when I go out and I expend my energy and my perceived value, they're going to give me 500 of these units. And now I've got them and I can spend them. So that's all the money really is. And now it's gone digital.
Yeah, I agree with you. And on a certain level, that's true. But metaphysically, money shows up that I attract into my life that I didn't do a lot of work.
That was my next point is that
go ahead.
You just get in that flow and you realize that I went out and did this show for only $200. Normally I get 700, but it's okay because someone saw somebody that went to the grocery store and saw their neighbor and mentioned something and says, hey, you should hire this guy for your trade show in Dubai.
Right.
And that's not in your marketing funnel.
Right.
So that's trusting the universe, knowing that for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction.
Right.
Or a force in motion tends to stay in motion.
Right.
And that's the book that I read was Deepak Chopra's 7 Spiritual Laws of
Success. The most interesting thing about that book was when you put forth your intention about what you want, you have to leave it there and step away from it.
Right. It is because that's how I manifested my wife.
Really?
Yeah. I think I told you that story about a short story that I wrote, and it was about this blonde woman, and I manifested that woman, but it's not what I really wanted, but that's what I manifested. And that's when it hit me that I can manifest what I want. So I put out the intention, no drinking, no drugs, no tattoos, no piercings, no children, natural. And that's what I got. She's got a kid and she's got it pierced ears. That's it. So I got exactly what I wanted because I put that intention out there, and then I let go of it. And she showed up because I did an art gallery at one of our expos, and she coordinated.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You did after you made that intention. You go, "Is that her? Is that her? Is that her?" You kind of back off and let it go, and all of a sudden she shows up. And that's what I learned from that book. It's true, and there's something magical about that. Brian Tracy talks about creating the desire of what you want, and then putting it up on a shelf, and then later your brain brings it back down. And not only does it bring it back down, but it's now improved.
That was Deepak's next book that I bought, was The Spontaneous Fulfillment of Desire, where you set an intention and then spontaneously it manifests. You just got to be aware of the little circumstances that happen and go, that's interesting. But don't attach onto it, because then you're going to go down that place of and precognitized belief.
Yep, you're right.
You never know. Yeah, so the money thing to me, physical world, and then you've got just currency, which is universal currency.
Right.
And that's where being in the flow is. And if you just kind of like, you got those multiple streams of income and you go, I just booked a kid's birthday party for $500, and then all of a sudden something comes out of who knows where because one of the neighbors saw you from across the street and had this idea. We should hire him for our product launch.
Right.
It has nothing to do with marketing.
Right. Now, I want to tell everybody, this is not always been my way of thinking, and it's not always been my experience. There were times when I would really struggle to make the money to pay my bills, and I remember one year I came home from a magic convention, and all of a sudden this desire to write about how to create money using my skills as a magician started showing up in my mind. So I started writing, and then I ended up writing an ebook, and it's called the Magician's Money Making Survival Guide. And it was basically what do you do when you have a car payment and they just canceled a show that you planned on making? How do you make some fast cash? Mm-hmm. So I wrote this book, and I probably have sold close to 100 copies of it. And it's still available if people want it. But the book is basically filled with all ideas and things that I did to create an income for myself in the realm of magic. And included in that is the principles we're talking about.
Here's a fellow magician right here.
Oh, yeah.
Mike Wilkie. Hi, Mike. Yeah, I think a lot of people don't realize that like you get into that position of, I need to make some money for a car payment because I don't have it. Now you've just told the universe that you don't have money. And that's your intention. That's what you get. It's like I tell people that free is bad. Hey, can you get a free program? To me, free is bad because it's zero. And then it multiplies by tenfold because that's the way the universe works. And now you've got 10 times 0, which is a vacuum. Now you're in debt. Energetic debt. So to me, it's like, what's a buck? Throw a buck out there. I don't look for free stuff. I don't buy everything either, but it's good to throw in $1 because then at least when it multiplies, you get something out of it. Tithing.
Yeah, but there was a time in my life when I worked as a street performer. Mm-hmm. There was no guarantees I was going to make X number of dollars, and I supported my family for 3 years doing that. Believe it or not, I worked my ass off.
It doesn't make any logical sense. Otherwise, okay, say you go out on the street and you work for 3 hours, busking for 3 hours, and you make $750. You go out there tomorrow and work for 3 hours. Are you going to make $750? No, maybe more, maybe less. If it was logical, that would be a given.
It never worked that way for me. I didn't make that kind of money.
I was just using that.
There are some who do. Don't get me wrong. In the right places, in the right talent, yeah. But no. But that was my training period. Once I worked for those 3 years, that's what schooled me and taught me how to hold an audience, how to, no matter what stage I was on, and it also, people had memory of me. And so it opened the door for my career. It did. It definitely did.
Yeah. Sometimes people say, I don't work for free, but sometimes you can work for free. And an example is I did not children's shows, but they're kid shows at schools. I volunteered in the school system and they just booked me on whole thing. So I was in my car all day long going to schools doing little 20-minute magic shows. And it got me to understand and just really hone the routine so that it was like easy to pack and easy to unpack, easy to do, get it.
Right. That's something you do learn. Yeah.
And once you get that, now people say, well, how long does it take you to set up? Should we block out like a couple hours? I say, no, how about 7 minutes?
Now that's funny you brought this up because the suitcase that I'm using today, that I carry in when I do 80% of my shows, it's a catalog case. It's the same case I used, the same type of case, not the exact case, the same type of case I used back when I was a street performer. So, yeah, it was a training period. And
the catalog case is the one with the handle on top and the little doors flop open.
Right, and it flops open like that.
That's
right.
Exactly what I got sitting right over here. And I've had it for, I think, 40 years.
Yeah.
And it's the same one.
I wear mine out. This is probably my 4th one.
I put a little flange on the bottom of it, and then I screw a little tripod on it. So the tripod, fortunately, fits right inside the case, and I just pop it open and stick it on the bottom and flip the things open, and I'm ready.
Right. But isn't it funny how those years of my street performance helped train me to which is working for me today. And you're right. When I first started out doing magic, I used to have trunks full of magic, big suitcases, big trunks. I took in more stuff than I could ever use. And what a waste of energy and time. And you're right, the setup time and all that. But once you get past that, you learn how to walk in and have a simple setup and do a fantastic show. Mm-hmm. I mean, people love what I do, and I can tell. I have fun doing it, and it works perfectly. So everything that I'm doing today for my basic show fits in that suitcase. Now, my feature show has more.
Going back to the topic of discovering yourself, there are people that's their thing, is they want these big boxes and trucks and things, and they want a trailer full of a tour bus and all that stuff. That's their thing.
Right. And that's I have good friends who are doing that today.
Yeah, who was it? Jay Owinghouse. He had Madonna's tour bus. We went and saw him way over on the northeast side or northwest side. Yeah, that's good for some people. We did it when we were kids. We had 10 doves, 2 rabbits, and 2 girls, and we had a van. We did the zigzag and the dove routine, and then we realized that's too much like work, so we just grabbed a deck of cards and started doing close-up.
Well, yeah, you're right. It all goes back to discovering your strengths. What are you best good at? What is it that you can deliver and give to people that they would enjoy the most? And it takes some self-discovery to do that.
Yeah, I'm definitely not a script kind of guy, like reading and writing a script and memorizing the pattern and all that.
No.
I'm like winging it and just tying it together with whatever is there.
You're not winging it. You're using your experience and your background, so you're not really winging it. Even though I understand what you're saying, you're not.
It's like this woman I talked to yesterday. She's creating this group. She's calling it Tribe of One Love, and it's all about spreading unconditional love. Mm-hmm. And she wants me to do a little 7-minute set, and she's asked me if I could. We don't have a camera or anything, so I can't really focus in on your hands. And I said, you don't have to. I can get up on the stage with a deck of cards. And I suggested 3 cards across, and I would tie it into how we're shifting the paradigm of the old to the new, just moving it over to the other side. So that's probably what I'll just come up with. And I just came up with it while I was talking to her. Mm-hmm. And that comes from the experience of doing that a lot of different times. So
that's right.
And that's one of my strengths. I don't know where it falls into the Enneagram, but
spontaneity is one of your strengths.
Spontaneity?
Spontaneity.
Yeah.
That is one of the strengths of your type.
Yeah, I'm really good at kind of just making things work in the moment.
Right.
Absolutely. Well, let's see. How long we gone here? Oh, my God. We've gone for 23
minutes. Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty fascinating. It seemed like maybe 10 minutes. Woo-hoo. Well, buddy.
And what people don't know is after we get done with this, we go back on and talk to each other sometimes for another hour.
Yeah, this is.
Maybe that's what to tell them.
That's where the real secrets are. Okay, yeah. Captain. I'm going to throw our little banner up there so people know where'd it go? There it is. This is what it was. Who are you?
Yep.
Well, there you go from Brad and Steve.
This is a topic to be continued. Who are you? To self-discovery.
Sounds good. Okay, buddy. Appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
Whoops, something else happened here. What the heck? Got little windows popping up everywhere on this little computer. Remind me later. Oh, don't remind me at all. Okie dokie, Smokey. So appreciate you guys tuning in. Please share this, like the channel if it's on YouTube, or download it onto your own computer and share it out with the world or the universe. Okie dokie. Enjoy. Be well. Be good.